Okay, I'm here. I'm live. Thank you so much for watching the replay and listening to the podcast. So, just hopping on here live. I love to do this about once a month. So, that is my commitment, is to hop on live and to talk about some of the things that I am seeing with my students in the boot camp, with YouTube in general, and to deep dive into certain topics that I really feel is important that you need to know in order to see success on YouTube. So hello, my name is Erika Vieira and welcome to my channel here on live. And if you are listening to the podcast, definitely come to YouTube, check out the channel, subscribe, even if it's just to check out the lives and you can interact with the lives, or just watch the YouTube videos whenever you feel like it, as opposed to listening to the podcast. I know a lot of you prefer listening versus watching. I know some of you like to watch, and now I have both for you guys, plus going live once a month, which is really, really fun. I get to interact with you. I get to deep dive into, like I said, topics that I find are really important right now and that are current for YouTube creators because things come up all the time. And this one specifically is around mindset. Oh, hello, Christine. Hi, Rebecca. Love you guys. You guys are some of my boot campers. Glad to see that you're here. And mindset when it comes to YouTube is huge, right? Before we get into that though, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, put on that notification bell as well so you don't miss any of the episodes. Yeah, mindset is huge. It is one of the biggest issues that I've found when it comes to success on YouTube. Everybody wants to dive into the SEO. Everybody wants to dive into learning how to make thumbnails or the editing, all that. And right, that's fun. And you do need to know how to do those things in order to be successful on YouTube. But one of the things I have found is that your mindset can literally make or break whether or not you're successful on YouTube. You can have all the editing and filming skills in the world, but if your mindset isn't there, you're not going to succeed. Or even if you have seen some success and then all of a sudden you find yourself questioning yourself, doubting yourself, suddenly feeling insecure, that is going to have an effect on your channel. And that's going to have effect on how you make decisions around your channel. Hi, Lauren. Yes, you're a boot camper. Yes. Oh my God, I can finally be here for the live. Thank you, you guys. I love it when you guys hang out with me. It is 1 a.m. in the UK, but you didn't want to miss it. You think you're getting in your own way for your channel too much. Yeah, so at this point, I have been working with female YouTube creators with my bootcamp for over 2.5 years, which is crazy when I think about it. I'm like, wow, it's really been that long because I started the bootcamp January of 2018. I started unofficially working with creators the year before that. So you can even say I've been working with creators for almost 3 years. I have been hosting this podcast for over 5 years, which is crazy. So I have seen my share of ups and downs when it comes to the successes of the people that I work with, the people that I coach, and then even the people that I interview. And a lot of people like to think, well, the algorithm is changing, or, well, things are not good on YouTube, or I'm just not really understanding why my videos aren't going out. I'm working so hard. I'm not understanding. I'm getting so discouraged, right? If you're on here live and that something you relate with, let me know in the comments or comment below if you're watching the replay on YouTube. I see time and time again. And so that is actually why so much of what I do inside of my bootcamp and even with my private coaching, because I work with several clients on a one-on-one basis. I just got off of 2 calls today, amazing calls. One channel, we worked together and she was at 300,000 subscribers and she's like, I want to start growing. I want to grow really fast. She's at 375 now. We worked together, I think, less than 6 months. Her revenue has skyrocketed on YouTube, her AdSense. So it's really, really fun. I love doing that kind of coaching. A lot of fun. If that's something you're interested in, DM me at Beauty in the Vlog because I am going to be, I think, doing more of that or kind of on a one-on-one basis, maybe adding a few individual clients here and there. But so so much of what I found when it comes to success on YouTube is how people take action in relation to what they think. So there is one fundamental difference between people that are successful, and this is in life, this isn't just YouTube, but people are successful in life and people that aren't. The main difference is that, well, let's talk about the similarities. The first similarity is that all people, no matter what, and you can, if we're going to talk in relation to YouTube, all YouTube creators, no matter what, I'm going to sneeze, they feel some level of doubt, fear, and insecurity all like at any point in time. Everybody feels those fears. Everybody feels insecure at some point in time. Everybody feels that little ting inside of them, like, ooh, do I really want to do this? Do I really want to start a channel? Or do I really want to do this video, which might, oh my gosh, this might ruffle some feathers, or oh my gosh, I don't know what people are going to think. Everybody feels those things. But the difference between people that ultimately are successful and people that are not is that they take action despite that fear. They feel the fear and they do it anyways because they know that by pushing through that and actually taking that action, they're going to start to move in the direction of their goals. Because if you have a vision and you have a goal, right, and you truly believe, and I talk about this, we have whole lessons on this in the bootcamp. I even brought in Dr. Shannon Irvine, which a lot of my bootcampers, if those of you guys are here, you guys know, it's one of their favorite lessons. She goes into the science behind all of this brain thought and rewiring your brain. So we talk a lot about this in the bootcamp, but the difference really is if you actually take action despite that fear, because you know that your success is inevitable, right? You have a supreme confidence in who you are and what you have to offer, and you wired your brain, or people that truly really want to be successful, they believe in their heart that success is just waiting for them. And it's just a matter of time. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. So if they were to give into their fears, and if they would allow their fears and insecurities to control them and stop them and paralyze them, then they know that that is actually in the way. That is a block that's in the way to the success that they know that they're going to get. And that by pushing through that fear, they're just getting closer and closer and closer to that goal. So the main difference with people that are successful and people that don't, and in YouTube, the main difference between, say, people that are successful on YouTube and people that don't is, first off, is they actually get started and they feel that fear and they do it. I can't tell you how many people DM me and email me and they say they've listened to the podcast and they've listened to every single episode and they've watched the lives, and they still haven't started their channel because they're afraid of A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. I mean, they have a million reasons why to be afraid, right? They're afraid of what their family will think. They're afraid of what their friends will think. They're afraid of getting haters. They're afraid of not succeeding. They're afraid of failing. They're afraid of what people would think. There are just so many different fears. And my question to them is, then what are you doing? Like, what are you waiting for, right? Like, you're spending all this time listening to the podcast, getting excited, like going through all the energies and all the flows, but you're not taking action. You're allowing those fears and those insecurities to paralyze you, right? You are not taking action, and you're allowing those fears to take over and control you. But a lot of you guys I know listening and watching live, you've moved past that, right? You've already gotten started, and which is great. And for those of you that haven't, I want you to seriously think about it. Like, what is stopping you? What is the worst case scenario? And you have to think there's a trade-off. So if I really want to be a YouTuber and I want to make this YouTube channel a thing, or am I more afraid of what people are going to say? Would I rather play it safe and not go after that dream? Because everything is a choice, right? And there's no right or wrong choice. It's what you want to do. Not everybody in the world needs to have a YouTube channel, because that wouldn't be good, right? I mean, it could be good, but there'd be a lot of people on YouTube. But not everybody's meant for it. Not everybody is supposed to be on YouTube. But if there's something inside of you that is wanting you to get onto YouTube, then you're making that choice, and you haven't started in, say, 6 months or a year. You're deliberately making that choice, and you have that choice every single day to actually make moves towards filming and uploading, right? You are making that choice. And you're choosing to play it safe, or you're choosing not to have to walk through that fear. So you're choosing that over going after your goals. And I'm not saying it's bad. You know, it's like you could say, do you know what? The risk for me is too high. I am really, really that afraid of what people are going to say. And it's just not worth it for me to put myself out there. I know I'm going to be a nervous wreck. I know I'm just going to be up all night. And so you have to actually make that definitive decision. Or you could turn around and be like, I know I'm going to get hate. I know my family might look at me like I'm crazy. I know people might make fun of me. I know, right? You think about the worst case. You know this, but I don't care because my dreams and my goals are so important to me that I am going to work through that. And I'm going to just kind of share a little bit about me. I know some of you know my story, but I have a lot of new listeners and viewers all the time. So I'll share a little bit of me. But for me personally, I have been hosting this podcast for years. Shout out to those of you that have been listening to this podcast since the first year, and, comment below if you have, DM me or take a tag on Instagram and tag me, let me know, but shout out to you guys, right? And so I've been doing this for about 5 years, and I just started the podcast because it was fun. I wanted some kind of an outlet. I love talking to people, and I fell down the rabbit hole of YouTube, and these people are so interesting. I find this so fascinating. Who are these women? Are they doing this for a full-time job? I mean, I was watching all the makeup, fashion, lifestyle YouTubers 7, 8 years ago, but it wasn't until about a few years after that I said, I'm going to do this podcast. And my whole thing was like, if I feel like people would enjoy it, and I would enjoy it, then that's all that matters. I wasn't looking to make money. I wasn't looking to do anything with it, just to have fun. And I did, and I launched the podcast, and I was very consistent. When I first launched, I had 2 interviews a week for the first 10 or 12 weeks. I'm like, I can't maintain that. So I jumped down to 1 interview a week. And then I just enjoyed it. It was a hobby for me, right? And that was a safe hobby. I wasn't really putting myself out there. I wasn't saying, I'm an expert or anything like that. It was just a fun hobby that, people started to listen. I built a nice little community. And then over time, I did start to get people asking me, Erika, you know a lot about this world of YouTube. And granted, after, hundreds of interviews and hundreds of hours of interviewing YouTubers, becoming friends with them, understanding just everything that it took for them for success. And one thing that's, you guys might not know about is that after an interview is done, or even before, we chat. There's some people that we've chatted for hours, and some that I am very good friends to this day. Some of the people I've met through my podcast, I talk to every single day, like every day. I'm best friends, like really, really close friends. So I've just really gotten to know. Did I have a YouTube channel? No, I didn't. And so when people started to ask me, Erika, could you help me with my channel? And these were some of my guests. These were some of my podcast listeners. I was like, Sure, I'll give you advice, right? And keep in mind, I have a background in sales and marketing. So I've always had a really good knack of understanding how to phrase things, marketing language, writing marketing language, sales. I've always had that as I would say, superpower since the time I was really young. Like always, I'm a promoter. I love promoting things. And I majored in communications. I actually had double major in communications and Spanish in college, but definitely communications played in this whole realm of understanding marketing. I took a ton of marketing classes, and then my job and my work was sales and marketing. And then I also studied acting. So I acted in musical theater my whole life, did commercials, and then I studied the Meisner acting technique for several years. And we're talking about like 8 I was taking classes like 8 to 10 hours a week, and it was pretty intensive. So I love the study of acting. I love the idea of bringing your best self to camera presence, being truly authentic. So granted, I didn't have a YouTube channel, but through those things and interviewing so many people, I really did feel that I had a good understanding, but I wasn't ready to make it a business. So I just said, sure, I'll help you. And we would have these conversations after interviews, and I would just point out to my guests, have you ever tried doing this? Have you tried doing that? And then how about you do a video like this? I think it'd be really fantastic if you did this, or what about this? And they'd be like, okay, yeah. And then they'd be like, Erika, that was a really good idea. What else do you think? I'm like, oh, how about you do this? And how about you do that? And then they started to see results. And then some of my guests on my podcast would, not the listeners of my podcast would email me, and I did a whole thing where I did one-on-one coaching with a bunch of the people. And just as a fun thing, I don't even know, I don't even remember. Some of them I didn't charge, and some of them I did, but very, very little. And so it was really more of just like a fun side little hobby thing. And the thing is, though, a lot of these people were like, wow, this is really good information. And then I was just getting inundated with people asking me, like, there's nobody out there that understands the women, like the type of channels and videos that women gravitate towards, like beauty, fashion, lifestyle, all those types of things. And people's like, we've taken other courses, but I would really be interested in hearing what you have to say, and what do you have to think about my channel, all that good stuff. And then but here's the thing, here's where my whole point of the story goes in regards to your mindset, right? There is a point. So for me, granted, I had a lot of success just doing this as a hobby, helping people very casually. And I did have confidence in what I had to offer. I did know that I really did had a lot to offer. Like, I would look at YouTube channels and I'd be like, oh my God, I know exactly what this person needs to do. Like, I just know what they need to do. Like I wish they did this, and this, right? I knew that I had that skill set. But even though so many people were asking me, like, why don't you create a course? Like, why don't you do something where you can help more people, or, give your systems? I was scared. Like, I was scared. I was allowing that fear and those insecurities to take over. I was scared, and I'm being totally open with you guys. I was scared because, there's a little thing, because I did not have a channel. I am not a YouTuber. I am a podcaster. I'm a marketer. I am a good copywriter. I understand camera presence, but I'm not a YouTuber. I don't have a YouTube channel where I was teaching people about YouTube, right? There's people out there, who they are. They're amazing. They're incredible. I love them too. I've met a lot of them. I've had many of them on the podcast. They're amazing people. So I had this level of insecurity of, I shouldn't be doing that, because who's going to take me seriously? I don't have a channel. That's not me. Those people are the ones that should have courses. What if I do this and there's this huge imposter syndrome, right? So it's do I even deserve to do that? Do I even belong to do that? Is that even right? And blah, blah, blah. And so I had all these things. So granted, it wasn't until years later that I even launched the bootcamp, right? I just had so much of that limiting fear and insecurity that really stopped me from moving forward. But ultimately, what happened to me was that I saw how the people that I was helping just casually, or people that I had helped and done these random one-on-ones 6 months prior, 8 months prior, year prior, were blowing up on YouTube. And they're like, it is because of what you taught me. It is because of what you showed me. And so my confidence there grew even more. I'm like, God, I could really help people with this. And I realized I was really getting in my own way. And I also realized, you know what? I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to do it, because I started focusing more on who I could help and less on myself and my embarrassment or insecurity or my fear. And then I started focusing on do you know what? It was just a mind shift of, I'm just going to focus on these people that I could really help. I'm just going to focus on them. Just my podcast audience. It's nobody else needs to know. I'm just going to tell my podcast audience. It's just them. They're friends. They like me, right? I'm just going to tell them. So I was like, okay, I'll do it. And then it was just this idea of, I'm going to focus on them and less on me. And then I launched a bootcamp, and to my surprise and delight, I wouldn't say surprise because I had so many people asking me that I did know people would be interested. But that first round of the boot camp, and those of you guys listening, you know who you are. Some of you guys are still in the boot camp. You're the boot camp alumni. I love every single one of you guys from the bottom of my heart. I mean, you guys are a very special group. All my boot campers are very special. But, they took a chance. They took a chance and enrolled. And a lot of them are, some of my major success stories that you've seen me interview on this channel or, on my sales pages or on my Instagram. I love highlighting them. But it was a moment of time in which I felt the fear. And I have to tell you, that fear and that insecurity, it didn't go away. And I still have it. To this day, I still have it. I get new people all the time DMing me who just randomly find me. I'm like, I want to start your course, but you have a really tiny YouTube channel and I don't understand how you could even teach this. So I get those messages, right? But I say, well, it's your choice. You can look at all my testimonials and all my work because I know at the bottom of my heart, I truly believe this too. And this has to do with you. You have to have this belief. I believe without a shadow of a doubt that my systems, my programs, my bootcamp, my coaching is the best out there for any woman that wants to grow their channels on YouTube. Actually, any man. Like, I truly believe that my systems are the best. There's nothing you can say that would ever take that away from me. I have that belief. I have that conviction, right? And now it's up to the people that come into this sphere and into this world that's on you. If you don't feel attracted to me and my messaging, that maybe this isn't the right fit. And I also believe in the right fit, right? I feel very, very lucky that we have a beautiful community with the boot campers. The boot campers are amazing. Those of you guys here, you guys know it. I mean, you guys are awesome. And I really attract rock stars. I really attract amazing people. And I think it has to do with the energy that you put out. And so to tie this all back to you guys is that, and for you listening and watching, is that for me, I have that conviction, like that I truly have something to offer. And if I had allowed, though, that insecurity that I still share, it's not, I'll be honest, it's not nearly like what it was before. I really have a lot of confidence in what I do and what I offer. And it's like everyone's going to have their own approach. Everyone has their own way. I think the way I do things obviously is the best because that's me and I have that confidence, and I want you to have that same confidence in everything that you do, right? And everything that you do for your channel. You have to believe in your heart of hearts that what you have to offer is the best that's out there, or that your approach and your perspective is truly, truly needed for some people. And I had that conviction there, and that's what got me over the hump of taking action and doing something. But I'm telling you, it took a while. It took some time. So, do I wish I would have started it sooner? Yeah, of course, right? But I do believe that I started it at the right time for me. And I'm truly grateful that I did take that action and that I did have that shift where I decided to focus more on who I was going to serve. I was really putting in the mindset of, do you know what? This is being selfish of me because I was so concerned with what I wanted and what I was afraid of and what I was afraid of happening that I was ignoring what I knew my audience really needed from me, right? And I imagine now if I hadn't done that, the hundreds of people that have I have over 350, almost 400 people that have enrolled in the boot camp, not to mention the at least 50, maybe even over 100 people I've coached one-on-one. I'm not a numbers person, I lose track on that. But I can imagine their lives might be very different if I hadn't made that decision and if I hadn't gotten over myself and my fears and my insecurities. So I tell this to you and I share this story for you because you're the only one getting in your own way. Nobody else is. Nobody's getting in your way. You can make all the excuses in the world, but you're the one that ultimately makes that decision day in and day out, the actions that you take to get you towards your goal. And whether that action is just getting started, whether that action is taking that little tiny inkling to now listening to the podcast, to now practicing filming things on your phone, to making that leap and joining the boot camp. I always tell my boot campers that for many of them, that investment, I do believe in investments, whether it's investing in equipment or investing in something like the boot camp or your education. I'm a big believer in that. I've invested in thousands of dollars of coaching and consulting and things for my own business, and I've never regretted it, because taking that action is truly, and those of you guys in the bootcamp can attest to it or comment here, taking that action is that the transformations happens in the transaction. It's you betting on yourself and you saying, all right, I am going to put this money down, because money is very powerful. There's an energy to money. I'm going to invest. And I get people all the time that tell me, well, can I have it for free? And blah, blah. I'm like, it just won't work. It will not work. It won't work for you. That investment in yourself, that transaction there's something that happens. You're saying, all right, I'm doing it. All right, I'm investing in myself. All right, I'm moving forward in this direction. And then you're also holding yourself accountable, because you're like, I don't want to waste that money. I'm going to every class. I'm checking out every lesson. I'm filling out every workbook, right? So there's a lot of, when you start to really take action, whatever it is, whether it's just filming, and all those little steps are moving forward. And what happens is that fear can stop you from getting started. It can stop you from investing in yourself. It can stop you from uploading. It can stop you at any point in the way. So what's the difference between the people that are ultimately successful and those that aren't, are that they move past that fear, and they take action despite the fear. We all have it. It's not that this person magically doesn't have fear. And in fact, there's a philosophy that the second you stop feeling fear is actually the second that you lose your edge, right? You always want a little bit of fear. You always want to be a little bit nervous, or a little bit, is this going to work? Or is this, and that's healthy. It's actually good. So you don't want to fear the fear. You don't want to be like, oh no, you want to actually use that fear and propel it and be like, oh, you know what? I'm feeling that fear, but that tells me that I've got to do something about it. I got to make a decision about it. Don't let it paralyze you, right? Don't let it paralyze you. Make a decision. Make a decision to move through it, or make a decision and do yourself a favor and just stop. That's why I say too, just say that's not going to be my dream. That's not going to be my path. I'm not going to I'm done. And that's okay. There's a lot of things that you have to make a decision on and be like, I'm done. But the worst thing is being in a purgatory of constantly thinking, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it just until here, just until there, just until then. Oh, just until I do this, just until I'm here, just until there. You're just in purgatory, and you're wasting your precious time. And we all know how valuable time is, and energy, on just a purgatory. So make a decision, whatever it's going to be. Move forward, right? Let me see. Let me make my notes to make sure I'm not. Oh, of course, I don't have my notebook. Oh, here's my notebook. I want to make sure I'm not missing anything, because I can go on some tangents. But yeah, that's the biggest. Here it is. Okay, so the other thing too that happens is that so what I said earlier was the idea that I did have confidence in what I was doing, right? I had confidence because of my experience, what I did. I did take baby steps in, working with people one-on-one. So I was constantly taking baby steps. And the more you take action, the more confidence that you will have. And it's kind of like fake it till you make it. And it's as cheesy as it is, it's very powerful, because faking it till you make it is basically so many people. If you talk to people, and I talk to YouTubers all the time, but I also talk to people in the marketing world, online marketing world, business world. I have friends from all different walks of life and all areas of business, a lot of influencers, a lot of YouTubers, but they didn't know what they were doing when they first started. They didn't always know, or they didn't know it was going to work out. Nobody knew it was going to work out. Not a single person that uploaded their first video had any confidence that it's going to work out. I have people saying like, can you guarantee that I'm going to 100% be successful? I'm like, no, I can't guarantee that. Like, I can't. up to you to continue moving forward. But what I can guarantee you, and these are people like, are thinking about joining all that, is that if you join the program, if you are coachable, you got to be open, you got to be coachable. If you are willing to accept criticism or accept changes, or you trust the process and you do the work, you will see results. Like, I can tell you that. You will see results if you enroll and you do all those things. And so it's like there's no guarantees in life. I mean, we all know that things are happening right now in this world that we had no clue about. Vacations are canceled. Weddings are canceled. We were not expecting this, right? You're thinking, God, I wish I went on that trip last year. God, I wish I had planned my this sooner or did this, right? I mean, we just don't know what's going to happen. And one thing that this whole situation, the Rona that has taught me is that we don't know what's going to happen. But one thing I do know is that I want to die trying. I want to live my life trying. And if I fail, then I know I tried, right? And, I did all the steps. I invested in myself. I talked to the experts. I took action. I did all those things, and I know that I at least tried. And that is something. That's huge. Because if you try and you feel the fear and you do it anyway, and you make the decision that ultimately this isn't for you, that is a victory. You're not in purgatory anymore. You know that that's not for you. And that's okay. Then you can move on to the thing that is for you. Do you know how many things that I did before I've done this? So many. Right? I had a clothing line with my sister. We manufactured licensed apparel for women. We did that for over 4 years. I mean, it was a major endeavor. I was in commercial real estate. I did entertainment reporting. I mean, so many things. And I feel good about where I'm at. I mean, I'm settled here. I just feel it. This is what I'm meant to be. I'm changing lives. I love it. I love what I do. So I feel like I'm here where I'm supposed to be right now, but will I be doing this in 5 years? I don't know. Maybe. I hope so. But if not, then that means that that's the right path for me. But you'll never know until you try. You'll never know. And so, to bring it around and circle back around, you're in your own way, regardless. You're making excuses. I mean, I had somebody message me, and if you're listening, I think you're amazing. Because I just love this. Because I've done this before too. I've literally done this before. She wanted to join the boot camp. And she's like, I'm going to list one of my purses. I'm like, do your thing. I'm not telling you to do it or not. She's like, no, I want this so bad. I want it. But my job I'm doing only 2 days and not 5 days. And when I initially decided I wanted to join, I had 5 days, but now I have 2 days, but I want to do this so bad. I'm going to sell one of my purses. I'm like, wow. I actually it made me so, I was just like, oh my gosh, there was something really just incredible about that, because when there's a will, there's a way. And then I was messaging her back and forth, and she's like, oh my God, somebody made an offer. I completely covered the cost of the boot camp. I'm in. I'm excited. This is it. Now that I'm not working as much, I have more time to do this. I am in, and I am in it to win it. I'm so, it almost brings me to tears talking about it, because where there's a will, there's a way. Whatever it is. I'm not talking about just, enrolling in the boot camp. I'm talking about every which way, right? Investing in yourself, or just taking action, or finding the time. Even for me, when I did the boot camp, I had a 3-month-old. I was working from 9 p.m. to 2 or 3 a.m. every night for a long time. So I truly believe when there's a will, there's a way, So it's I have had people tell me I'm going to make this work. I'm going to make it work. And it is so incredible. And that's why I take what I do very seriously. I am in that Facebook group. I am answering every comment, because I know what it takes to get there. I know what it takes to invest in yourself. I know. I do not take that lightly. It is not something I take lightly. And I take my role as a coach, as a mentor, very, very seriously, as I do with this podcast too. I know a lot of you guys listen to this podcast week after week, and I do everything I possibly can to make sure I can do this every week. And that meant investing in my podcast before I was even making money from it. I hired a podcast editor. I wasn't making money from it, but I knew that this was something special. I wanted to serve people. I wanted to do it. And I did believe that it was going to lead me to something else and something bigger. I didn't know what, but I just believed in it so much. And so, yeah, it's just like, I just really believe there's a will, there's a way. I see people all the time, people that join my program, people that do my coaching, and they're working it, they're doing it, they're working late at night, they're working during nap time, they're working at night. They are putting in the hours, they're putting in the grind, they're putting in the hustle. That's the thing about YouTube. YouTube is not easy. It is not for the faint of heart, and it's not easy. And that's part of the reason why I have my bootcamp, because I want to make it more simple, right? I feel like I have a formula, I know it, but it's not easy. And the people that it attracts are people that are willing to put in the work. And I commend every single one of you guys that has a YouTube channel, that is consistent with your YouTube channel, because it is so much work. I know that. I understand that. I get it. I know how much work is involved. It is a lot of work. It is more work. And I'm going to say this here. It's more work than Instagram. Well, I guess I don't want to knock Instagram, because I know a lot of my Instagrammers, they do a lot of work, especially if you're doing videos. If you're doing videos on Instagram, then that's different. But I really believe that the YouTube platform, it is the hardest platform to master, but it is the biggest payoff. The biggest payoff, without a doubt. It's hard to master. It's a lot of work, but the payoff is huge. We're talking life-changing. People that, I'm friends and I work with, people like Shay Whitney. It's incredible. She emailed me back when she was not even having her YouTube channel. And 3 years later, look at her. Those of you guys who don't know her, check her out. It's incredible. Life-changing. Zodic, one of my boot campers that from the beginning came to me at zero. She's at over 600,000 subscribers. I can't even tell you the amount of life-changing things that have happened to you. Every single person that has been able to quit their job. Michelle Wong, who just, I've had her on the podcast, and she's been able to quit her job. And it's been truly incredible. It really offers, and Natalie says it's the most time-consuming, but offers more opportunities. It truly is. It is hard. And I want every one of you to know that I acknowledge that. I'm never one person to say, YouTube is easy. Just follow the system. It's easy. It's not easy. If you follow a system, it makes it easier. If you follow a system, it makes it more simple. It makes that fast track faster, but it's work. But the payoff is huge, and it's incredible. And I see it day after day, and I love it. I love this platform. I am passionate about this platform. I love every single day. I am on analytics of my clients. I study analytics 2-3 hours a day. I'm in there, probably more. I manage of many channels, and I love looking at the analytics, and I study it, and it's amazing platform. And in a matter of a month or 2 months, 3 months, you can get on this roll, right? And start growing. So, and Christine says it's simple when you have a good system to follow and not easy. Exactly. So that's why I do what I do, And for those people that feel attracted to my podcast and they tune in week after week, they feel attracted to my boot camp, they make that investment, they make that change, they enroll, then those are the people that I want to serve, and those are the people that I can help, right? And I love every single one of you guys for tuning in week after week to this podcast. This podcast is, it's my heart and my soul. I've put 5 years work into it. I love it. If you want to give me feedback on the podcast, I do have a link survey that I am loving for you guys to fill out. I will put it in the show notes. I'll put it here in the YouTube description. I'm going to put it in my Instagram stories because I always want to make this podcast better. I'm always trying to think of ways what can I do? Is there certain things you want me to dive deeper in? Are there certain guests? So I'm actually gearing up to doing as many of you guys maybe know or don't know, I batch record And this past year, I was really proud of myself. I was able to batch record in October and November and in January and all the content for the year. So really proud of myself for that. And I'm gearing up to start doing the recording again in about a month. So I'm starting to think about who I'm going to interview, what I'm going to talk about, how I'm going to do it. Do I, I keep the videos and all the different ways. Do I add different videos? Like, I'm always thinking about ways to better serve you with a podcast. So if you want to fill that out, definitely do me a favor and do that. And all the things. Subscribe to the YouTube. If you love this podcast, subscribe to the YouTube, put on that notification bell, tell a friend about it, tag me while you're listening, let people know. I mean, as of up until now, don't really do ads here on the podcast. Not to say that that's a never, but I haven't. And I just always try to think, how can I best serve you guys, right? So any feedback is always appreciated. And, if that the bootcamp is of interest to you, I periodically do open up spots. So you can always go to erikaviera.net/bootcamp. I am going to be doing another live training that's going to be coming up. So if you're on my email list, you'll get notification of that. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll get notification that go to Beauty and the Vlog. So I'll have another training, which I'm coming out in a couple weeks, a live training. So that should be really fun. So you said, so grateful I came across your podcast and the boot camp. Yeah, I mean, all of you guys are incredible. Thank you so much for tuning in with me live. I think that's about it. So I hope I got my point across that you are in your own way of success. You determine your success. Don't allow your fears and insecurities to stop you. Don't allow them to get into your way, and focus on who you're going to serve and then take action towards that. Okay, have an awesome rest of your week. And Christine says bootcamp 1,000% worth it. Oh, thank you so much, Christine. I love hearing that. But thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. If you're on YouTube, leave a comment. Let me know what your biggest takeaways were. And I will see you in the next interview. Bye.